This video is going to show some best practices when using links in your courses. One of the best practices is to add the links specifically to pages, discussions, or assignments, or anywhere else where the link is taking place within another spot. And what this does is it allows you to add some sort of instructions that go along with the link, so it's not just a standalone item. So as an example, I'm going to pull up over here a Schoology course. This is just a sample assignment, and as you can see by where I'm hovering over, there's a link to an article within this assignment page. What this allows me to do is I have my article linked, I have the instructions for my writing assignment that goes in it. My students just go to this one place, they're able to click the link, and then when they come back into Schoology to complete the assignment, everything's right here for them on one page. So our first best practice is to actually put the link on the page. And when we put these links on our page, there's a couple different ways to do it, and I just want to talk about what are the right ways to do it versus the wrong ways. Alright, so the worst way to have the students go to another area is to just tell them where to go without actually making it clickable. So for example, I have listed here that a bad example is going to google.com, where as you can see it didn't change color, so there's no way for me to click on it to get there. Alright, this is bad for a couple reasons. The first is it doesn't stand out, so if a student's not reading carefully, they could easily overlook it and not realize that they're supposed to be clicking on something to go somewhere else. The second problem is if they try to copy that google.com and start typing it in the web address bar, they would then go to Google and not have Schoology open in another window. So therefore, when they try to go back to the course to complete a future task, they would have to waste more time going back into Schoology. And then the third issue with this is that the students potentially would mistype something and they would end up at the wrong spot, and then they would be confused whether or not getting to the information that they're looking for. All right, so the worst way to try to have students go to another website is to not have it hyperlinked at all. All right, so then there are options for what it looks like if we do actually link it. The first one that I've listed here is an OK option. It's if you say click here and then the word here is usually hyperlinked and it takes them to their website. This is okay because if you click on it, the link goes to wherever you want them to go and the students are able to figure out what they're supposed to be doing. The problem with this is if there are any students who use a screen reader to actually go through the text, when they're seeing the word here, they have no cue of what is going on that link, so they don't really know where that's taking them. So basically by not using this, we're trying to make our links a little bit more accessible for all students. The next option that I have is better, is to put the entire web address down as a hyperlink. So the kids would actually see the entire web address and then they'd be able to click on it as well. This is okay because the kids know exactly where it's going to be taking them. When they click on it, it'll take them there. The only problem with this is sometimes those links get really long and messy and it's sometimes hard to tell exactly what it's going for. So then finally I have a best practice is to put down some summarized text that tells you if I click on this link, this is where I'm going to go. So in this case, if I say read the math curriculum, have math curriculum hyperlinked, I can assume that this link that I'm clicking on is taking me directly to that spot. We would emphasize that when you're building your courses, you have your links looking something like this, so that way it's nice and clean and the kids know what they're clicking on when they click on it. All right. And one other thing I just want to mention as well for as far as using links, it is possible to add links directly to Schoology without it being a part of another page or anything like that. If you do add them to as a separate thing in Schoology, just make sure that you set it to open in a separate window. If I pull up an example here, this link I have in my course is just going to the Google website. If I click on Google, what Schoology tries to do by default is get the web page to open inside of Schoology. So what I'm getting right now is this error message that Google refused to connect. Now in most chances, if I pick a site like Google, Google is not actually down right now, so I can tell that there's something wrong. So basically what the issue is here is students would have to click to open Google in a separate tab. If they click on this little button in the top right corner, it just opens up Google or another website in a separate window. All right, but as the teacher, I can control this so the students don't have to take that extra step. They don't see that error message. If I go back to where I created my link and I just hit edit, this takes me to the same screen it was when I tried to make it. All I have to do is click the button where it says display in Schoology, and now I'm changing it so it says display in new window, and I'm going to hit save. Now when the students click on that button, it's taking them to their separate window then. All right, so these are just some best practices for using links, and hopefully they will help you as you're designing your course pages then.